All right, let's do it.
What's up, everybody? Bruce and Betts here. How y'all doing? Hope you're getting some good Masters action. How you doing today, Sean?
I'm doing fantastic, man. It's good to see the leaderboard. It's looking a little bit more like what we thought now, and we're seeing some lower scores, so I'm jacked.
Yeah, definitely good scoring going on. We got a mix of kind of big names and a couple other guys that fortunately we had some eyes on. So we'll get into that later. But first, what are you drinking today?
I'm really excited to crack this open. So this is a Bohemian style Pilsner from Heater Allen, who I featured yesterday, but with their dark Dunkel beer. And this is a little bit more of my speed. Pilsner is my favorite. So there's not going to be a lot of bells and whistles behind it, but as long as it's got a little bit of malt, dryness, and crisp, I'm excited. I'm excited to try it. What are you drinking?
Sounds good. I have a citrusy IPA from the Depot up here in Reno. It's called Voyager, and it was a limited edition summer release with some mango in it as well. So I've been excited to try tap into this one before summer's over. Well, I mean, I guess it's November already, but I'm excited to get it. So cheers, buddy.
Cheers, man.
Hmm, this one's real good.
Wow. This is one of the best beers I've ever had.
What's it called?
It's Heater Allen is the brewery. They're in Oregon, and this is just their Pilsner. They're real German traditional like we are, so they only make like, 5 beers and
Yeah.
just make them really well. But this is their Pilsner, and it's fantastic. Mm.
Nice. Really good. I'm digging this one too. I like get those bright citrusy flavors and some mango on top too. It's great.
Mm. Yeah, that sounds good. I do like a good IPA as well. We've got some in the fridge for later.
Nice.
Well, let's get into it, brother. Today, like I said, we expected there to be good scoring Thursday and Friday, given how the weather played out, and to kind of flatten from there. So what did you see? Like, what surprised you? And I mean that good or bad, as far as who did well and what was weird.
All right, well, I'm starting right off at the top of the leaderboard. Surprising to see Abraham Answer and Cam Smith up there at the top. I know you'd mentioned them pre-week as we were getting our heads together on some lineups and stuff like that, but Answer with a 5 under today and Smith with a 4 under. So those guys being up there tied at the top of the leaderboard is pretty surprising and honestly, I think a pretty exciting addition because there's a lot of those big names at the top too, which are always fun to watch. But I'm tracking some lineups with some big names and some of those smaller guys like Answers and Smiths. So I was pleasantly surprised to see that. And then my rub of the green or a little unfortunate situation when I was watching Bryson on one of the earlier holes. He bombed a drive and it looked like he got plugged down in the rough, and they couldn't find it. They had all the guys walking out in the grass, couldn't find it.
Yeah.
So it counted as a lost ball penalty for him when, like Bryson or not, that kind of stinks when the ball should be right there. He can't find it. He had to take a penalty and go back and hit again. I think he made a triple on that hole or something like that.
He did. He tripled. It was, just 4 holes in. I've lost my drive when I thought I should find it a million times, but I don't have a whole gallery out there looking for it either, I guess. So
Right.
definitely unfortunate.
Yeah, those are a couple of things that I highlighted today. How about you? What did you see, good and or bad?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Abe Ancer and Cam Smith, especially because we mentioned them on the show and we did like them. So it's good to mention that we picked those guys out. Cam Smith had been really good off the tee for his game, and that's always what was his like Achilles heel. And so the last few weeks he kind of put that together, especially before you're going to Augusta. That's really important. And like I said, Abe Ancer, I feel like when he's on approach shot wise, there is very little better. He's like a Victor Hovland, real sneaky guy in that way.
Yeah.
But I will say, because we said, or I thought anyway, that could happen, it wasn't a surprise. So as far as what I saw as a surprise towards the top, I would say Willett, Danny Willett shooting the 6 under. He's so touch and go, man. He has his random good tournaments, but he really hasn't been playing that kind of golf, so that surprised me. Another name up towards the top that surprised me was Tommy Fleetwood. He also wasn't in as big a form as he can be, but coming in, he did the same thing. He shot a 66 today as well, 1 under, and now he's 7 under. So that was good. So good for those guys. As far as surprises on the bad end, was bummed to see Jason Cochran go the other way. 4 over now, 3 over in the day, especially because he is a rookie, but he at Augusta, but he's no rook. We talked about him in the show. He's been in these big tournaments before. He seemed to be composed yesterday, and he just kind of went off the rails a little bit today. So those are the biggest things that stuck out for me as far as different. What are you excited about moving forward for like which players you're going to be looking at, and what do you need for your lineups?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at one other pleasant surprise by my standards was Charles Howell III. We talked about him, we liked him. He was, I think, only 6,400 in DraftKings this week. But
Yeah.
He's putting together a couple solid rounds. I think he was -5 through his 15th hole today, and they're about to call everything from darkness. So we're going to be sweating out a little bit of the cut tomorrow morning, and I'll be sweating out a little Bryson, hoping he makes the cut. I'm sure a lot of people that have him in their lineups are going to be sweating that one as well. I could use a charge from Lanto Griffin as well. He's one of those kind of 6,000 range guys that plugged in, hoping that he could make the cut and get some points that way. So those are a couple of the guys I'm going to be sweating. It looks like the cut's going to be even. Maybe might get to 1 under depending on how everybody looks in the morning, but we'll see. You sweating anybody on that cut line?
Just one. Matthew Fitzpatrick's even. He actually needed to get some back. He was one that was a couple over yesterday, and it was looking promising. Like he got him back early, and he just kind of flattened out. So if it stays at even, I guess we're okay. But I really don't know what to expect when they all come back. There's a few guys who still have quite a few holes that are right on that line. So it's just going to depend on how they come into the day. The DeChambeau one's a funny one for everybody out there who plays because if you already have guys within the cut line, you're super rooting hard against them because you know how owned he'll be also. But if you need him, you're obviously rooting. So that's going to be super 50-50 depending on ownership. Other than Fitzpatrick, I mean, yeah, your Griffin is a big sweat. Lanto, he was the same price as Corey Connors, and we didn't talk about this in the show, but I was pretty back and forth between those guys. And Connors had the worst day yesterday and kind of pulled through it. And then Griffin's just been a little bit flat. But he is 1 under through his round today. He's got a few going, and that's where you want to see the trend, right? Like you don't want to see, oh, I need him to hang on another stroke, but he's been going the wrong way. So I'm feeling good vibes for you and Lanto. Hopefully him getting to even or better, though, doesn't move the line.
Yep. One other thing that I guess I'll be sweating a little bit over the weekend, although it's looking in good shape now. I took an over-under bet. I got under 274.5 for the winning score. So that's basically 14 under or better for the winning score, and with the leaders at -9 after 2 days, hopefully that was pretty good there. But we're going to see how that plays out. Like I said, that means that the projected winning score was 13.5, or -13 or -14, somewhere in there. And after those first 2 days, looks like it's going to fly by that. With those leaders at -9, yeah, what do you kind of project the winning score to be, and what do you think is going to happen over the weekend?
Wow, that's a good question. First off, love that bet. Like more than any other one you made for any of the guys versus, I think that's great. Even if you consider the fact that scoring will flatten, because it will. You have a tight field and plenty of guys at 7 under right now. Yeah. So all you need is one of those guys at 8 or 7 to figure it out. And I think you will. I think it's crazy to think that Rahm couldn't go another 6 under. He might go another 2 under finishing out the second round. So yeah, it depends. I've seen a lot of awesome golf today. I watched a lot of the groupings. Casey scrambled well. Louis looked great. If he can keep that up, he will be in the top 10 this tournament, so good for him. As far as what I expect, though, Rahm's sort of charging. He's just starting to charge right now. So I expect Rahm to win this tournament. I think he'll win by 2. I think it'll be something around 17 under. But I think you'll have a pretty packed field there. You've got a really good talent pool going. Cantley was heating up today as well, and he looks good. So I expect, like I said, Rahm 2-shot win, tight field, and I'm not sure about that cut line. I really am not. That's the one thing I couldn't say either way, whether that's even or 1 under. But I expect to see scoring flatten and not have as many people at 12, 13 under by the tournament's over. But I think it's going to stay pretty steady on Saturday.
Yeah, that's a good call. I think I'm going with a not so bold prediction of taking Dustin Johnson, one of the favorites, but I had a pre-tournament bet on him, and after 2 days, he's a co-leader, and I really think guys like Dustin, like Rahm, over the weekend, I think they can show the experience and flex those muscles. And I think the winning score is going to be, maybe like 16, 17 under. I can see it getting to 18, but also going to count on a little bit of maybe some pressure getting in on the weekend and some tougher conditions. So I'll go with Dustin Johnson minus 17 to win. Not the most sexy, boring pick, not the extravagant one, but I think we got to go for some chalk there. And I'm excited to see how it plays out, though. A lot of big names at the top.
Yeah, me too. One mention, he wasn't mentioned on the show, but before we go, we definitely got to bring up his name because he was high priced, is Justin Thomas. He seems back in form. He's at the top of the leaderboard as well. He hadn't been playing the best golf he can play, but he seems to be playing pretty well this tournament. I'm not sure if he can keep it up all 4 days or not, but he seems to have a really, really good pace, and he's making some putts now. So that should scare everybody as well. I still feel like ownership-wise, he should have been 10,000 on DraftKings, and DJ should have been 10-7, like exactly. But either way, good for him.
Last thing before we go, wouldn't be a golf show, master show without a Tiger Woods update. He had another pretty steady round, not as well scoring as yesterday, but looks like he's 4 under through 10 as they finish here today. So Tiger is staying steady. Looks like it'll be a cut, and we'll get to see the big cat on the weekend. That's always fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Tiger needs to get it at 6 or 7 through finishing his second round to be super competitive, because I don't think he has the firepower to be one of the ones who can be 6 shots back. But he's playing okay. He's scrambling today. So
cool. Well, everybody, cheers. Good luck for the rest of the weekend. Hope you enjoy the Masters, and we'll catch up with you again probably after Sunday's round when we have the champion. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy your weekend. There's a lot of great golf action, and good luck on your bets. Cheers.
Cheers.